Welcome back to the Postpartum Prep Podcast. My name is Ceridwen. I'm your podcast host and your guide to preparing for a smoother start to life with your new baby. Here on the Postpartum Prep Podcast, we talk about all things babies, newborns, sleep, feeding, mental health for moms. And talking about mental health for moms, today we are joined with a maternal mental health therapist, Gabrielle Ferrara. Gabrielle, can you give us a little intro into yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. I am a licensed mental health therapist in the United States, in Florida and New Jersey, and I also have advanced training and certification in perinatal mental health. So I am supportive of moms, going through the early postpartum motherhood journey, in terms of mental health and things that might pop up with anxiety, depression, OCD, things like that. I'm also a mom myself and have some personal experience with maternal mental health. So I come from a place of empathy and understanding with that as well. And if you listen to the other episode, I am a nurture neuroscience practitioner. So I have education and certification in biologically normal infant sleep and like to weave in the maternal mental health aspect and infant mental health and how they intertwine and relate to one another and how we can support mom's mental health, baby's mental health, and everyone's sleep.
Because it is all so connected. Yeah. Today or for this episode, we're going to be focusing. So, if you are curious about learning more about baby sleep, go back and listen to our main episode because that's all about baby sleep. For this episode, we're going to be talking about preparing mentally for postpartum. And we have some questions from, excuse me, we have some questions from moms who are pregnant and getting ready for what is to come after birth. Our first question is, how do I prepare for the identity shift? I'm excited to become a mom, but also scared of losing myself in motherhood.
Yeah, I think this is a very common fear and question. And my first response to this question is, in terms of how do you prepare for the identity shift, is to stop fighting it or don't fight it in the first place, the identity shift, because motherhood is going to change you and it's
Mm.
supposed to. You're not supposed to be the same person that you were before you became a mom. And I think the longer that we try to fight the identity shift, the harder it becomes because it's just not going to be productive for us because we're not supposed to be the same. Motherhood changes us and it's supposed to
Mm.
change us. And I say that with like love and empathy and a giant virtual hug because it's hard to kind of recognize that. But it's also very beautiful because motherhood changes us into a version of ourselves that we've never met before, that we could have never anticipated becoming because we weren't moms yet. And I think the more we lean into that beautiful change and the more we lean into everything that comes with it, the easier it is to embrace it and feel confident and secure in it and feel like we are the best versions of ourselves. So I think that's my first response. My kind of like sub answer to that is
Mhm.
identifying the parts of yourself that are most important to you and bringing those traits or those values into your motherhood journey. So, kind of
Mm.
weaving them in. So, for example, like if one of your values is just being like a very loyal person, like bringing that loyalty into motherhood in terms of tuning into your baby, tuning into your personal needs, your physical needs, your mental health, like being loyal to yourself, essentially being loyal to your needs and tuning into your baby and nurturing that relationship between the two of you. So bringing in some of the things that are important to you pre-motherhood into your motherhood journey can make you feel like you're still in touch with yourself.
Mm. I love that. I think this is something so many moms are kind of grappling with. And I just love the balance between, in your answer, the balance between accepting the journey that you are
Yeah.
on and also like just honoring it and like giving yourself space to experience that. Um, and yeah, that's such a great tip about thinking about. I was thinking through like some of the things that I used to be like super, super social, and I just was thinking about like,
Yeah.
well, actually, sorry, I was not super social, but like I was 22 when I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So the social life I had as a 22-year-old was just very different
Yeah.
from what I knew I was going to be experiencing in motherhood. But it's like I was just thinking like tips and you know actually it's not the same kind of social that I was when I was 22, but it's um, actually, I still leaned into that in motherhood and really
Yeah.
tapping into really making sure that I actually had loads of mom friends. And actually, that was
Yeah,
one of the most
exactly.
supportive things for me after. And I
Yep.
love that tip. It's really good to, um, yeah, you don't have to lose the important parts of yourself. It's just
No.
about finding how, exploring where they are in motherhood. And I love that
Yep.
kind of curiosity that you bring to it as well.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that answer. We're gonna hop to the next question, which is how can I cope mentally with sleep deprivation in the newborn stage? I don't function well with sleep, and the pregnancy insomnia is already getting to me.
Yeah, this is definitely a big one too. And I know there's kind of a debate in the social media community, like which is worse, pregnancy tired or newborn tired? And like parents will kind of like argue which one is worse. And I really don't think they can be compared. So in terms of that part of the question, like the pregnancy insomnia, it's going to be very different when you have a newborn, and it might be different in a good way. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up in like fearing newborn tired just because you're pregnant during, I mean, you're pregnant during tired, you're tired during pregnancy. Because they're very different. So in terms of like practical tips, one of my main tips that I give for new moms is to get rid of the clocks in your room. I know that might sound like kind of a weird thing to do, but like get rid of the clocks, get rid of the time on your phone, any of those things overnight, because it is such a mental game when you wake up in the middle of the night and you see the time on the clock and you are calculating how long it's been since the last time you woke up, or how long you have until the morning, or you're doing like math in your head of how long you've been awake. All of that is like a mental game, and it can really make a big difference in how we are perceiving newborn sleep or how we're perceiving the lack of sleep. So I recommend getting rid of the clocks completely. Like don't even have them in the room. Um, and then in terms of like practically coping with sleep deprivation, finding ways to protect your own sleep wherever possible. So for some parents, this looks like asking for help in the morning. So like a partner takes baby in the morning so you can get a few hours of sleep, in the early morning. Sometimes it looks like going to sleep when your baby goes to sleep. So for this period of time, go to sleep at 8 p.m. when your baby goes to sleep or whenever they go to sleep, so that you're getting, as much sleep as possible. I think another great protective factor, and we talk about this in the other episode, is bed sharing or co-sleeping is very protective for mom's sleep because it minimizes the amount of time that you need to get up and down or go back and forth to a different room or put baby back and forth from the bassinet or whatever it may be. It can be very protective of mom's sleep just to have baby close to you if you're able to co-sleep and bed share safely. And in terms of just like a few other sleep tips, being mindful of things like screen exposure, circadian rhythm. So getting outside as much as possible, making sure you're getting lots of natural light, making sure you're taking care of your physical needs in terms of nutrition, hydration, all of those things are really protective of sleep.
Mhm.
So I guess the short answer to this too is there are ways to protect your sleep or to optimize your sleep without changing your babies. And I think that's something
Mhm.
that gets lost in translation a lot is even if nothing changes about your baby's sleep, there are ways that you can feel better about your baby's sleep and protect your own sleep.
Mhm. I love that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the clock thing I just relate to so much. But mine was actually in like from like 1 p.m. till like 4 p.m.
Oh
Those
yeah,
hours of the afternoon just seemed to drag
yes,
on. And
yep,
we had a clock on our wall and I literally would like sit in the chair watching this clock. And I think it's because that's like my even now that's like my time of day where I'm like such an afternoon nap girl. Like I
yeah,
really struggle if I don't. I mean, not so much now, but when I was super like sleep deprived back
yeah,
then, it was like if I couldn't take an afternoon nap, I was not good. But my son, that was like his awake time. So I'm just like staring at the
naturally,
clock, like when is my husband coming home from work?
yeah,
And it's still actually an hour. I put it away eventually because I realized. And
yeah.
yeah, I think I love that you also bring up sleep tips that are actually almost not about sleep, even like things
Mhm.
like getting
Yeah.
outside. And, supporting your own well-being in ways that actually have nothing to do with sleep, but like
Yeah.
it all matters when it comes to how you're feeling and your energy level and
Yeah.
your mental kind of your mental health. It
Yeah.
all adds
Right.
up.
Yep.
I love those tips. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And then the last thing, talking about mental health, the last question is there anything I can do to prevent postpartum depression?
Yeah. Um, yes, I don't think postpartum depression is a given. It's not something that happens to everyone or has to happen to everyone. And I think a lot of postpartum depression, there's kind of like this conversation going on in the mental health community, and I see it on social media that like basically the question is it postpartum depression or is it a normal response to
Mm,
the lack of support that moms are receiving in early motherhood, or the lack of the village, the lack of the what moms really need? So is it like an appropriate reaction to the lack of support, or is it something clinical and pathological? And I think that's an interesting conversation because yes, there are brain changes that happen in early postpartum. There are definitely markers in terms of like hormones and serotonin and like everything that clinically from like a brain perspective can signal depression or trigger depression. Those things are all true. And I think a lot of moms experience postpartum depression because they are not adequately supported or feeling grounded in their early motherhood. And I think that we can kind of hold both of those truths at the same time. Like, yes, as a therapist, I can sit here and diagnose a mom with postpartum depression and suggest like therapeutic modalities and thought reframing and like all those types of things that support a depression diagnosis. On a more practical level, I think we can help a lot of moms by offering more support postpartum in terms of other moms, other parents, other caregivers, supporting mom's sleep, supporting her nutrition, letting her just bond with baby and not expecting her to do anything else. Um, Supporting mom's choices and values in terms of how she wants to raise her baby, checking in with her in terms of like what she needs, telling her she's doing a great job. Like all of these things are missing, I think, from the postpartum picture, and they contribute to the overall experience of postpartum depression. So, in terms of like how to prevent it, I would really encourage new moms to be vocal about the type of support they want postpartum, even before the baby gets here. Like,
mm,
for example, a lot of well-meaning family and friends think that coming over and offering to hold the baby for mom is like helpful. And it's really not what moms need. A lot of moms are like, I want to hold my baby. Can you help me with everything else? Like, can you do my
yeah.
dishes and my laundry and, whatever? So mom being vocal and confident in what she needs and what she wants and the type of support that she needs, not being afraid to set boundaries around her needs and her baby, and also being confident in the things that she needs to help her feel better mental health wise. So, like, in terms of needing a break to, I don't know, go on a walk, take a shower, get fresh air, like, not being afraid to say, like, I need to do those things for my own mental health, can be really protective for overall postpartum depression and other mood disorders too.
Mm-hmm. It's really, I mean, that the role of support is just absolutely essential. And it
Yeah.
really is one of those things that when you're, especially, this was from a pregnant mom, and pregnancy is actually the
Yeah.
best time to start
Yeah.
reaching out. I have some free templates actually that if I'll link in the show notes, my postpartum prep checklist, and in there,
Yeah.
there's some free templates about how to like ask for help.
Yeah.
And one of them is actually like it's literally like making like a cute little infographic, and I have the template is for making this infographic of like ways that you would like help. And I
Yeah.
find like for people who are like me a little bit more find it a little more challenging to ask for help.
Yeah.
Sending an infographic seems it just like takes something about it just feels like a little less
Yeah.
pressure. So I really
No,
like
totally.
that. And I think actually I wanted to also touch on what you said about um the is this like postpartum depression or is this a lack of support and like but
Yeah.
also a lack of support you can also be experiencing postpartum depression
Yep.
with a lack
Yes.
of support and um just like in my own experience I was really um I was really thinking a lot when even for the first year postpartum, I definitely was experiencing postpartum depression and anxiety for the entire first year, but I only ended
Yeah.
up getting help right at that, towards my
Yeah.
son's first birthday when I was actually by that point like reaching the point of like a mental health crisis because it
Yeah.
had taken me so long, partly because I was really like, well, I know that like things would be better if I had more support. So I was really caught in the like thinking of like, well, it can't be, I don't think I'm depressed. I think I just need more support. But
Right.
actually, I was still depressed, even
Yes.
though, and it's actually oh, getting mental health support, even though it wasn't like the practical support that I was really craving, that mental
Yep.
health support just helped me to at least feel a little better in myself so I could
Yeah.
cope better with the lack of support in other ways,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But both things can be true at the same time and they like exacerbate each other. So like they're
Yeah.
like it's a bi-directional
Yeah.
relationship. Like you can have clinical postpartum depression and the lack of support will make it worse. Or you can have a lack of support and not feel, like you have what you need and that can make you depressed. Like it's a
Yeah.
very bi-directional
Yeah.
relationship.
And I've seen a lot, I don't know if this is kind of what you were getting at. Like I've seen a lot on social media where it's almost like they're not, it seems like they're kind of separating it out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And I don't think that's helpful
No, we
to
we
think, yeah.
pathologize. We pathologize, I think, more than we need to. Like, there's
Yeah.
definitely a time and a place for like a diagnosis and even like medication and all those types of interventions. But I think we pathologize m more than we need to, and it makes it harder to see the
Hmm.
gaps in support or other factors that moms deserve or moms need.
Mm. Yeah, you always deserve support. And I always like to remind moms, like, you don't need a diagnosis to get mental
Right.
health support. It's never,
Right.
you don't, I don't know. Obviously, there's issues with insurance and stuff, but
Yeah.
usually therapists are, can help with
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Um, well, that's the last question that we actually have for today. So thank you so much.
Yay.
Um,
Of course.
for everyone who's listening, go ahead and listen to our sleep episode because that was a great conversation as well. Thank you so much, Gabrielle, for both of these
Yeah.
episodes. You've given us such great insight, and I'm really, really happy to have had you on. If anybody would like to learn more about you or work with you, could you tell us a little bit about what you offer and where people can find you?
Yes, so I offer one-to-one sleep support, individual nurture neuroscience-based sleep support. So there's no sleep training, no withdrawing of comfort measures or anything like that. It's all based in responsive, biologically normal infant sleep. So I offer that one-to-one sleep support for anyone worldwide. And I can be found on Instagram at Nurtured Mom, Nurtured Baby, and also online. I have a website that we can link in the show notes, but I can be available for that one-to-one sleep support. And I look forward to meeting you and your family if you're interested in some sleep support.
Oh, thank you so much. I didn't add, I should have added in the last episode, but I'll say it here. I follow Gabrielle on Instagram. And I love your videos where you actually have recorded like all throughout the night what
Mm-hmm.
you and your son sleeping together, and it kind
Yeah.
of showing like this really
Mm-hmm.
you know, a really normal night in the life
Yeah.
um, with a baby or coming up to toddler
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I feel like any moms listening, I think they would really benefit from seeing your
Thank
videos. So
you.
they definitely should hop on over to your Instagram and check them out.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Uh, well, yeah, we will end the episode here, but thank you again so much.